Birmingham 1v1 European Open has certainly delivered to the point of where we've had CJ and Johnny Boy in tears. Moxie, congratulations on your 4-1 victory against Trebler. Game 3 was a back and forth affair, but did you feel like Trebler came into this looking pretty unpredictable?
I mean, like, I don't really know how he plays. I don't usually play him in ranked, so it was quite confusing. I had to adapt myself during the game, the series, and it wasn't easy, to be honest. Like, he played really well. He could honestly take more game if I didn't focus well enough. So yeah, I had to adapt myself because I didn't know how he played, but I made it. So yeah, I'm happy, but it wasn't easy really.
Well, you made it, but at what cost? Because after that game 3, he called for a timeout. Did that kind of affect your mental at all?
I didn't really understand why did he timeout, like, because he was gaining momentum and he just called the timeout, so it reset everything. So I think it was in my favor. Like, when I saw he wanted to timeout, like, I told myself it's a good thing for me. I didn't really understand why he used the timeout, to be honest. I just took some time to refocus, to reset my mental, because I was starting to tilt a little bit. I was like, what should I do to win? I don't know how to play. So yeah, okay, I think the timeout went in my favor.
So how do you reset the mental? When you start tilting, what is it? Do you have like a little talk with yourself? How do you reset?
Yeah, I just tell myself, like, if I tilt, it's gonna go like worse and worse. So I just tell myself, focus. Don't tilt on random things, like when you take the boost and I don't have the boost, I take the dumb goals. I just tell myself, don't tilt at dumb goals, just focus, go on, and you play your game, and if you play well, you win, and if you lose, it's fine, but just don't tilt, don't tilt.
Well, before, heading into playoffs, you tweeted, is there any way to play against people I really want to eliminate? Ever since then, Moxie, I need to know, who did you want to eliminate? Because you tweeted it after playing against Fairy Peak, so who else is on the hit list?
I just don't want to eliminate French players. Every other player, I want to eliminate them. Yeah, like,
but you know what? That's not stopped you. You're still doing it.
Yeah, but I'm not really happy when I win French people. Like, when I won GC, I was happy, but it's my friend, so I want him to win also. Like, I'm happy he's on the other side of the bracket, so I'm not gonna play him. But there are also some French talking people in my side of the bracket, such as Atto, Drali, Atto, and yes, Drali if he wins. I know, I mean, like, I just don't want to eliminate French players. Every other player, I want to win.
Every other player is on their hit list. But is there anything you want to say to Trebler? Obviously, he was the underdog coming into this, but he put up a good showing. Is there anything you want to say to him?
Yeah, I just want to say to him that he already did a really good performance, really good. He showed some really good things. He's really solid. So, like, he can, I don't know how to say, just Trebler, focus, you can do it. If you just focus, play well, you can clearly do it, because I really struggled against you and GG.
I don't know if you actually want to say that since he plays against Juicy next, but you know what? It's out there. You've done it now. You've said it.
Yeah, it's in Juicy's end now.
Well, you know what? GG's, Moxie. You gave us a great showing, a great performance, and I'm excited to see the rest of your games.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Guys. CJ, I'm gonna come to you first. Have you recovered after?
That was certainly a series. It was only a 4-1, but it was incredibly entertaining. Gibbs, I know what you thought watching from afar.
Yeah, I was entertained by your reason. That was great too, but also the gameplay of the field. That game 4 was interesting, to say the least. But for Trebler, like, so I said max he would win one game. He almost won 2 back-to-back. Game 2 was also a game that he could have easily won. Kind of maybe fell apart towards the back half, but you expect that against Moxie, right? That's not really a detriment to himself. But Trebler, he is a force to be reckoned with. Don't count him out in this lower bracket. Like, I think at first a lot of people thought, he's probably going to go 0-2 in this. But now I think there's probably going to be some more confidence behind that pick. So we'll see what happens tomorrow versus Juicy. But Moxie expected to be one of the top 4 players and is so, and doing it very, very well.
Well, Moxie said it best, right? It was not an easy series by any means. He did throw him off. It was pretty unpredictable as well, being the underdog coming into this. Maybe that gave him a bit of an advantage, but whether or not that advantage will be the case against Juicy is a whole other story. But whilst we're here, I want to give a reminder to everybody joining us in the chat that you can now get yourselves official and exclusive RLCS merch released throughout the year on the Blast store. Go ahead and type !merch in the chat to check out the full collection. I know CJ, the freshest threads, etc. You're looking forward to it, right?
All of the freshest clothes will be had. Make sure you check those out. Looking forward to seeing everyone at the majors, and well, to rocking the merch.
I know everybody's going to be swagged out in Birmingham, but our final series for today is going to be Atto versus Drali. The two teammates going head to head. Gibbs, how will we feel about this series?
Atto's looked great. I think a lot of people were like, you know, he's like in the run-in for maybe 5th best or so, or maybe in that conversation to grab that number 4 spot. But he has looked fantastic throughout this tournament. Went 3-0 in the top 32 round, including wins against apparently Jack, which is very nice. And then he makes it through the upper bracket, a little bit of an easier upper bracket for himself. But he challenged Moxie very, very well and took him to game 5. So Atto's looking great, playing against his teammate Drali, who's considered one of those top 3 favorites. We'll see how that all pans out there, but it's two teammates going up against each other. I'm going to say, CJ, I think Atto's got a slight edge because he's on Team Blue for K-Corp. So I'm just saying, I don't know if there was a coin flip there. I'm not sure how that all worked out, but I think he's on the blue side, so maybe that's a small edge.
Could be an advantage, but I think in terms of the matchup, I think Drali probably has a slight edge. He was kind of like him and NASA, you know, trading blow for blow. And obviously Drali has the win in the group, so it's going to be a matchup. We know that if Atto peaks, he can pretty much take anyone down.
Yeah, it's interesting, really quick. I just had one stat that I remembered of, like demos inflicted. Like Atto is actually a very demo-hungry player in ones, at least so far throughout this tournament. Sitting at number 2 in demos per game. But Drali, on the other hand, never gets demoed. He's the least demoed player in this entire tournament. So we'll see if that plays a factor. We'll see if Atto can actually catch up, or will Drali dodge a bunch of those aerial bump plays, maybe that turn into demos. So see how it pans out.
What did you guys make of Drali's performance throughout group stages? Obviously, it was looking pretty comfortable for him. Do you think that's going to be the case now going up against his teammate who might potentially have a better read of how he's going to approach this game?
Well, I'd say it was comfortable, but obviously game 5 against Nas. But I think whenever the two Moroccans go toe-to-toe, Gibbs, it's always game 5, game 7.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, he's so consistent. I think when you're looking in the 3v3 game especially, pretty wide consensus amongst pros that Drali's the best player in the world at the moment, the way he's playing. So it's tough to go against him, but again, like Atto knows him inside and out. They're teammates. He can do it. He can do it.
He can do it. Well, on that note, you know what? I want to know from everybody that's joining us in the chat, pick your side. Is it going to be blue? Is it going to be orange? I want to know which of these two players you're going to be rooting for. And my lovely desk, my lovely analyst, let me know. Who are you predicting is going to walk away with a victory on this one? Mr. CJ, let's go.
Yeah, I said it before, Drali, he's the favourite. I don't think it's a clear favourite. I certainly think Atto can get the job done, but I had him as my pick with Nas. I don't know, it's kind of hard to just pick everyone, but I had him make it the grand final with Nas winning, so I'm going to pick Drali in this one.
There's something about RLCS and like underdogs performing. We saw Jack almost get the win. We saw Trebla show up. I think it finally happens here and we get our first big upset win. I'm going Atto here for the win. I like what I've seen from him so far throughout this tournament. So I think he can surprise here and take the W.
My prediction is going to be none other than Drali himself. But who do you boys think are the fan favorites? Who do you think has the most support here?
They're on the same team. It's tough. Like I feel like Drali's the pick that you do with your brain, but the heart for the K-Corp fans, like Atto's been there longer, so maybe it's Atto. I'm not sure.
It's like me with my underdog prediction. You know, I was kind of low-key hoping that we'd see Trebla make it through. But for these two players, you know what, the caliber of play that's going to be on display here is going to be absolutely unmatched. Who do you reckon our cast is going to predict that?
I reckon they're probably going to go Drali because they think they're, you know, chief analysts and stuff like that. Gives them boring. I say that, but I picked him as well. Looking forward to it.
Well, you know what? As these two teammates go head-to-head, KC fans are well and ready for this series to get underway. Choose your fighter. Is it going to be Drali or is it going to be Atto for our final series of tonight?
All right, how did CJ know I was going to pick Drali? It's almost like you can see the prediction sheet. Fear, you've gone for Drali as well. What do you think is going to make him the favorite in the matchup for you?
I think that when it comes down to it, he's playing the best Rocket League right now. Atto plays at a really high level, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't yet shown the consistency when it comes to tournaments as Drali has. Now, I actually looked up during the break to see how this specific matchup between Drali and Atto goes. And it looked like from my research, this is a 3-3 all time, as this one will be the one that separates these two.
Okay, well, decider right here, unless we get another game between the two later on in the week. Drali there in a little setup to himself and a great shot from distance to take the lead. It actually kind of surprises me that they're all time even because Drali had a bit of an earlier come up in ones than Atto did. I feel like Atto is more recent 1v1 kind of bloomer, even though he's been so well known in threes for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was, I mean, I have it all right here. Drali won the first one. Atto actually had a few straights after the Drali couple wins. Nice flick. But the most recent matchup went to Drali in a really, you know, handsome man's tournament. And it could be either one of us, but it was me when they played most recently. And so that's why we got to lean Drali.
Yeah, Drali is one of the favorites to win this whole thing. Atto has the peak, but Drali has the peak and also the consistency. He's already got a 2-goal lead as well. He is just such a monster in every aspect of the game. He's got the mechanics, he's got the offense, he's got the defense. Atto might have the best offense between the two, although that post would not indicate the case early on.
Yeah, I think you hyped them both up, and they both made a mistake. Perfectly timed with you, but Atto trying to tough dribble here. Length of the entire field, not quite gonna make it. But the good news for him, he bailed out with it early enough, so he should be able to reset. Atto, both these guys really, but Atto especially loves to attack through the air. He will go for these backboard doubles that other players won't, but this time he's not going to be able to contain the ball. This should be an easy tap in for Drali.
Yeah, one challenge by Drali, really shutting Atto down early, and that's a great idea generally in the matchup against Atto. You do not want to let this guy get close to your net, or else the flip reset will be unstoppable. And Drali with the wave dash recovery kickoff. Couldn't really use that one because the ball was so directly over his head.
Atto now has Drali in a tough spot. He's got him locked in a cage here in defense. These are situations that happen a ton in ones. You starve out your opponent. Can you convert it? Now he's already slightly lost it out as he allows Drali to escape and get boost, but a double jump. Oh my goodness, what a save from Drali. I cannot believe he used that flip to get underneath him.
Well, that is just unreal creativity. And now at the other end of the pitch, he's got Atto on the ropes again. Now, Drali might have thought that was already in, but it didn't really matter too much because he's got the boost and he was able to circle back around to midfield anyway. But now here comes Atto, still in the hunt for his first goal of the game. And once more, Drali makes his intentions known with the early challenge.
Flick saved as well. Drali has cleaned up all of the offense from Atto, and it hasn't been poor offense at all. Drali just showing he's on another level defensively. Such a quick collection and flick for a fourth.
Well, you know, we said that it was going to be, well, maybe I shouldn't say we, I said, I'll take responsibility for this one. And probably the blame when it turns out not to be the case later on. But yeah, Drali's got the both ends of the pitch sorted, defense and offense. He's got 6 saves already. Atto, 0 saves to his name. He is all offense. And right now it's not working, and it continues to fail. But that one was saved by the crossbar.
Yeah, Drali saving tough ones. Atto is basically going to have to execute at perfection if he wants to get away with getting goals. At that time, there was an opening. There was a window to score it. It's an Atto mistake. He's not going to be able to get back to this ball after using the flip to get another one, pre-flipping underneath it. But you talked about the saves. Drali's been playing for defense, but he has not been bummed. He's had his chance on offense. He's completely covered Atto, and now a nice slide. Everything is going his way.
It's just the perfect game for Drali. He's got a 7th save, and then he goes down the other end of the pitch and gets another goal. Just pops him all over Atto's head, and then demos him when Atto jumps to cover it.
5-goal lead Now, this is the way 1v1 can go. We still have essentially half the game left. Atto, no reason to give up yet. Needs to try and lock in and see if he can at least get on the board. Shutouts in general in ones do not happen very often, even when they're pretty one-sided. You're going to get a goal somewhere along the way, so Atto has to try and work down Drally. This is a great flick. Good catch. He got Drally into net with a flick and then carried it to the opposite side.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Drally nearly saved this one as well, even though he ended up in a really awkward position. Thought Atto was going to the far side. Atto actually cut back across him. And even that shot was, you know, about to be saved. Just give Drally another split second and he's keeping that one out. But now Atto can start to come back. He's got one. Can he get a second one? It's an open backboard. You know what that means. It's two.
Atto is a maniac when it comes to the backboard double. It's actually not used very often. This situation, he just reads Drally's early challenge and flips it to the backboard. He is so good at doubling those in. He'll even do them in different situations when he feels like he has open field. In 1v1, it's a bit dangerous if the defender's back. Nice delay kickoff. Is he going to be able to convert it here? Atto did not finish it, and now with no boost, it's actually a goal the other way.
Wow, it's not a goal the other way. What is happening? Drally with a huge open net miss after Atto missed the close to open net top right corner. Both players trading inaccurate shots, and that's going to favor Atto massively. He's got the next possession. He's got 100 boosts and a reset, and Drally still shuts him down.
Nice challenge. Atto, all he had left was bringing it down to the ground. He actually bodied Atto out, trying to like not let him get back to the play, but Atto does bump him. Nice pinch. Does he have a chance? No, he's going to wait out the boost, so Drally will have possession.
Well, you know, this is what one's going to come down to. It's such a tense game mode. Yes, you have open nets, but you feel so under pressure taking them. And even at the pro level, a slight miss can just cause the ball to save itself by going across the goal. Now, Atto's got Drally in a really bad position here. He doesn't have a fluke, doesn't have any boost, and it's now just a 2-goal game.
Drally has been a maniac defensively. He needed a little bit more. It almost seemed like he was planning on pushing it into the back wall, and then if he had maybe 10 more boosts, he could push himself to the back wall as well.
Yeah.
But he didn't have any. So instead, he's going to have to go to a kickoff. His kickoff's been clean, though. Wave dash kickoff 1. Atto is going to save it off his post. Wait, Drally didn't get there in time. I can't believe it. But it is still possession Drally.
Well, Atto did mean to do that, but I don't think he had the follow-up really well thought out. So after he hit the inside of the post, he probably thought, nice. Oh, wait, now what? 30 seconds to go, though. Atto still trying to make the comeback happen. Drally with a huge outplay, spotted the early challenge coming, and he's going to slow roll him as well. Taking a sweet time to score this goal. And this is a smart play, because Atto needs the time more than Drally does, and Atto's not even going to bother coming back. He's just going to wait for Drally to eventually score this one. But what a mind game by Drally, confirming the win by time wasting.
You said earlier, this might have been, you know, in the green room or whatever, but you said we've given everybody today an example of everything that's happened in ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a perfect moment right there. Those moments will happen. People will tilt away and not want to actually come back. Atto wasting precious seconds. I mean, the chances that he was going to come back anyways, you know, maybe not very high, but definitely zero now that Drally has used those few seconds, and he'll take game number 1.
It's such an interesting position, because sometimes even if you can remove 4 seconds, 5 seconds from the clock by stopping the ball in the goal line, making your opponent come all the way over just to then watch you score it, it can change the game. It can prevent the comeback from being possible. We all know how crazy 1v1 can get in the closing seconds of games, even with 3-goal deficits like Atto had there, or was about to have. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's the mental aspect as well. It's not just about trying to waste time and win the game. It's about trying to force your opponent to do your bidding. Almost like saying, okay, now you come over here, I'm going to score in your net, but I'll wait for you to get front row seat before I put it in.
Yeah, there's been famous moments in 1v1. I believe it was the one that you ran where a player just said, type to chat, come over here, come get the ball. I'm making you come get it.
Yeah. Zivo, if I remember correctly, he just said, come in chat, type in chat, you come here. Because the players don't want to do it. You can see there, Atto didn't want to drive back, even though it's the most winning play is to go back as fast as possible. Actually, the most winning play there is probably just an own goal, because you know the opponent's going to score anyway. So Atto didn't want to do it, though. He just wanted to go next game. So here we go. Game 2. Atto does get what he wants, but not with the result that he wanted. Drally has it 1 game down. Now, nothing's really gone 100% according to the script today. It's been a bit of an unpredictable day, but the favorites do keep winning. So Drally will be looking pretty good here.
Yeah, for sure. Drally's just moving different. It's often in this game, me and you, we watch it a ton, that it's rare to see like unique movement from any car or something that you haven't really seen before, but Drally's already shown that. I mean, one of them that I saw was him, jumping down to turtle on the ground. It didn't pay off well, but another was that backflip out of the air dribble bump. It's something that, it's so unique to these players. Atto is actually one of the guys who does it a lot himself, but so far today has been Drally.
Well, Drally does open the scoring for the second game in a row. All it took was a little bump in the back corner. Well, I say all it took. Before that, he did stop yet another Atto aerial play, which is no small feat. We've seen Atto blow many top-tier players off the pitch by scoring 10 aerials in a row with multiple resets. Probably, 20 resets thrown in there in the 10 aerial plays. But Drally's not having it. He is just playing solid Rocket League, and once again, he's winning.
Yeah, he followed up with a wave dash kickoff win there. Atto just meeting a brick wall. They're actually going to trade strategies here, but it's still going to pay off in favor of Drally, who is now going to the ceiling. Actually, an awkward setup. I talked about the unique movement. I mean, that counts as well. I've never seen that before. What was he doing? But it's going to lead to a direct Atto goal.
Well, even in RLCS 1's KC passing plays continue to dominate. Drally finds his teammate waiting for the long shot. And he has given himself a great pass as well in the quick chat there. He knows his own mistake. Atto was able to use just one goal last game to build more. It seemed like it opened up floodgates a little bit. And he's going to need to do that earlier in this game to avoid the impossible late comebacks.
This is where Atto is so lethal. This time off the side wall, looks to play no touch and try and go to the ground. Drally's not going to let him get back up in the air. Pre-jumps it nice and early. But one thing that Atto is eventually going to get involved in, and Gibbs touched on it as well, is the demo game, the physical game. Atto loves to get a good bump in. We haven't really seen him go for it much, but if he continues to struggle, maybe he will. But the other thing he's great at is the aerial game. Nice full foot air dribble, and a reset shot will tie it up.
What control by Atto. How about this replacement? Got the reset nice and early in the play so that Drally would have plenty of time to think about how to defend it, but also plenty of time to think about what to maybe overthink and what to get worried about. Atto ties it. You do expect this to eventually end up being a close series. Drally might be the favorite, but Atto's not far off.
Atto really pre-jump there as the ball comes down to the ground. Oftentimes in the back corner on a high bounce, players want to take a big air dribble, but defenders now are so far ahead of that Atto's actually pre-jumping it. Maybe convinced Drally not to go for it. Made him play the ground game. Atto feels better in that, takes the ball away, and gets himself a lead.
Oh, that's so interesting. Atto just kept putting himself in no man's land there, and Drally was so worried about challenges that never happened that eventually he just gave the ball away, and Atto pops it over it. Another little streak for Atto. He's had these little sprees in games, trying to pinch the ball center here. It's most likely Drally's ball regardless. Atto would rather have under boost to defend it.
High flick, Drally just forcing Atto to make it clear, expecting to get an extended possession, but another missed touch. I mean, this was not the Drally we saw earlier. And Atto, that is an interesting decision from him. I felt like he had an opportunity to set up whatever he wanted, and what he decided was passing the ball to Drally.
Yeah, it's a really bad shot there by Atto. Drally messed up his first touch, trying to set up a ceiling play. And then Atto completely messed up the ground shot. I mean, he just rushed it. He arrived too soon and ended up passing possession away. So pretty careless turnovers on both sides.
These guys vying for the mid-boost. Drally's going to get everything he wants, cutting it down to the ground. Trying to play a bit of that flip game. Look at that save again from Atto. He is putting such precision on the post, taking it to the opposite side. This time he has boost to recover and quickly shoot it. It's a double for a fourth.
This is just unbelievable. Atto keeps the ball under control, and then with half a tank of boost, just hits a double tap, looking like he's in free play with unlimited boost. And Drally, one of the world's best defenders, can't get anywhere near it.
You have to keep those at such a high pace if you want to get away with it in these kind of lobbies. So you need high pace and you need a tight angle usually. And Atto, the risk of those is really high. You miss those, you're up high on the back wall, you're usually getting scored on, but it's a layup for Atto. He's not worried about that. He's not thinking about the miss. He knows he can put pace on the ball and make it happen. And now he's going to actually bump Drally off as he gets possession. He was worried about a challenge, I think, so he pops the ball immediately. Can he go for 50? No, Drally covers it.
Yeah, a bit of a risky one there again by Atto, but he does have the recovery planned. Drally covered the near post really well. That mid boost did not spawn for Drally on the exit. It appears for Atto. What a change that could make to this sequence. Drally's preferring to challenge early every time, and he gets the demo as Atto loops back around.
I think they both wanted the demo there. Drally able to snipe it though. He's not able to convert off of it. He did have low boost. Atto wanted to get a carry going. Drally not going to have any of that. Dunks it before he can line up a flick. And now Atto trying to control the ball from the back wall. Can't be in a tough position. He did get a little bit of space and a big boost advantage. And he's not going to be, thrown off by Drally's fake. Wait a second. I was going to say that he's not going to be thrown off because Drally had no boost. But it turns out he did have a real challenge coming.
Well, Atto knew Drally had no boost, but Drally knew Atto knew he had no boost as well, so he just challenged. What a play by Drally. He didn't want to back off and defend with a boost disadvantage, just sends it and gets a goal.
And half flip kickoff, Drally not going to it at all. Atto chips it away and then actually will get an opportunity, but he's going to get a miss, and Drally will take the lead.
Oh, that is a really interesting play. Drally looked like he was setting up to hit the ball nearer to the wall. That's this side Atto blocked, but like you mentioned, he missed it, which might have been intentional. It's Drally, so you never know. He might have done that on purpose, just to fake Atto out. But there's every bit as much chance based on what we've seen today that he just missed it and profited with a goal.
Heavy delay from Atto, goes into the orange half. Drally's going to send it back. Atto's actually trying to outpace Drally, which is always a bit of a risk. Did Drally just land in reverse to set up this shot?
He did.
Very mechanical play, but ultimately, as fancy as the setup is, the shot is on time. Free jump, and actually worked out.
Yeah, crazy early free jump by Drally. He's hiding on the inside of the post, switch on Forbidden Temple does obscure your vision, but he can't get contact on the ball as Atto slow plays him. And that's really interesting. Atto couldn't see where Drally was, but he obviously knew where he was because he can't see him. So he's thinking, well, you must be inside the post, man, so I'll just carry it middle.
Yeah, Drally is being so unique in his movement and his decision making. It's something that sometimes in the short term cannot pay off, and you can go, wait, what's going on? He's being ridiculous. But over the long term, of course, a long series, that unpredictability, is Drally going to make the save? No, he is not. And Atto will take the lead.
He does get a goal, which it should have been coming here because he had just had such a strong position. Drally got a little bit lost on that play, which can happen easily when you're up against Atto's offense, but this is a late lead now for the Belgian.
Delay wave dash for Atto. He's on the ball, but he's going to tap it away. Boost control for Drally means there's not much he can do. Drally will take to the skies. Atto jumps early, but actually preps for Drally to go back down to the ground as he sets up a shadow. Double jump up, and it connects to tie the game.
Oh, Drally faking the air dribble from distance. Grounds Atto's pre-jump, and then once he was shadowing, he was too much of a target. Drally clatters him into the net, and the ball swiftly follows. 33 seconds left in game 2. It's a must-win game for Atto to keep the pressure on Drally, who's already one game to the good.
Atto has a great chance to do it here with 30 seconds left to go. While the air dribble pass to himself off the ceiling, he's going to get a reset. He does. Drally got connection, though, and it is still Atto possession. He has the advantage. Drally has more than enough boost. He went up to meet him there. But Atto saw it coming. He tried his best to kill this, and he will get it on target. That was a great read from Atto.
Oh, for a second there, I thought Drally was going to make it back for this one. He did get back incredibly quickly, just going straight back towards the center of the goal. I'll tell you what, that might have been somehow savable, just barely, but it was so difficult. Not even Drally could keep it out. 16 seconds, sorry, 15. And Atto under control. That's a really good first touch. He's got all the options here. Decides to go sideways, playing it as safely as possible to confirm the win. Drally is called GG, but we're going to watch this clock run down.
Yeah, nice pop from Atto. He got the boost advantage there. Just decided to lob the ball up to a spot that no matter how good you are mechanically, if you don't have any boost, you're not getting to it. So Atto securing the game. A big game for him. Like you said, I think based on the way game 1 went, it did feel like Atto had to secure this one. If he let it get stolen away by Drally, he'd be in a really tough spot. But I'm not sure we've had a series start 1-1 yet. I can't remember when Treble got his win, but this one should be a good one.
Yeah, definitely should. These guys know each other super well, being RLCS 3v3 teammates, but also just being active in ones in the off-season. They were both active in the one scene, and they've played so many times against each other in the past, like you mentioned at the start of the series. So they're very familiar with the play styles that they're up against here. They're very familiar with the tendencies, and it seems like we are going to see at least Atto being allowed to play his game, which is interesting. When he's allowed to play his game, you're going to see a lot of high-flying clips, and it really becomes a matter of whether or not Drally can save enough of them to get game wins. Did in the first game, did not in game 2.
You know, we talked about it a little bit, whether or not these guys are getting any help from the KC, you know, teammates or coaches or something. But it would be pretty funny if they're trying to coach them both at the same exact time, set somebody up. I'm watching out for a really questionable play to see if it was set up by Farah.
Well, Farah is streaming his own POV, I believe. Oh. Drally's controller did DC. The timing on that was impeccable. So we just see Drally sending it to the side of the pitch. But yeah, the KC players are all so confident with their 1v1 ability. I would be pretty surprised. And it's also kind of weird, you know, we're not used to having coaches in ones. There are no coaches in ones historically. It's just a, you know, solo game mode where you just go in and do your best, and that's kind of how players are used to playing. 3v3, there's a coach in comms, they're talking a lot. I think that would almost throw players off, especially in midfield play. Between kickoffs, I think it would be very useful, and that could be something we see in the future, but right now, yeah, they're doing it solo.
Yeah, midfield play. I think over the course of time, if coaches were able to, you know, if this gets more and more regular, as I'm sure you and I both hope it is, after the RLCS ones, it is a bit of a slower game mode for like active adjustments in the middle of a moment, but certainly these guys have not prepped that way. But we will get started with game number 3, Atto Drally, tied 1-1.
And honestly, massive by both players there ensuring the DC to not touch the ball and ruin the scoreboard. Not that it really matters, it's just for show. Atto, flip reset, denied by Drally in the opening seconds. And now Drally's going to get a chance to flex his aerial mechanics, which are plenty both backboards open. Oh, he got bumped though, as he hits right for the flip reset double.
Wow, that's not often what you think about when you think about defense and paying off, but Atto trying to get up to stop the ball maybe initially. Drally sees that coming, uses the reset to flip, but the play's not over. Atto keeps going. If you clip the offender, you can throw off that double chance, and that's what I was talking about before. Those backboard doubles, they're so risky in a lot of different ways. You have to be so fast, so clean, over the top of your defender if you want him to pay off.
Yeah, you got to get your car pass to play as well. Drally ties it. Absolutely massive shot as Atto tried to knock the ball to the back corner. Did not make it. Not quite enough power on that one. Sets up Drally for the equalizer.
Yeah, but not an easy equalizer. Like, credit to Drally, who put a ton of heat on it, and top left. Atto did cover a big chunk of the net, but he's got to remember he's playing against his world champion opponents in Drally. He's going to have great touches. Now Atto set one up off the ceiling. Looks like he decided instead of trying to shoot it, he just tap it to back wall and extend the play. And he's got himself a good opportunity. Drally hoping for a dream pinch, didn't get it, so now he's going to have to play some defense against an Atto with a tank of boost. And he was playing way high.
As he own goal for this one, it's on target. It's just going down the middle of the pitch, but Drally couldn't get in the area quickly enough. He's going to have the next play available to him. Air dribbling sideways, away from Atto's position. They don't want to go anywhere near each other with the aerial plays, knowing how quickly challenges can land. Ceiling double reset by Atto. Drally puts it straight up in the air above him. The defense is really shining bright in game 3.
Yeah, Atto was quick to the back wall, making sure to keep his reset shot, which he did use early. He kept the ball high, which is super important. Forced it to stay high, but look at this. Boost advantage for Atto big time, but Drally on the ball surprises him.
After all the high-flying aerial plays, it's a simple, just rolling side flip shot by Drally to get the goal. You can all try that one at home. It's a great play at all ranks. Even RLCS 1v1.
Yeah, you might not be able to get it on Atto, but I promise you can get it against your opponents.
Yeah, you can get it on us. Probably even DJ. Gibbs, definitely.
Look at Drally so early. I mean, it's the pre-jumps in ones. The patterns are so clear for these top players. I mean, Drally is basically doing it way before him and is able to cut it off, but then Atto gets a goal.
Well, yeah, nice tempo by Atto. That's an effortless touch mid as well to leave the net wide open and really remove any bad luck potential from the position. The only thing he was waiting to find out is where will Drally spawn. So he just wastes no time. Doesn't matter where Drally spawns, the result will be the same.
Drally close to the back wall. Can be tough position to score, and usually you don't want to go all in. I would say this is an all-in play from Drally. He gets the reset on the back side of the ball to try and put it around him, which does enable Ato's counterattack. Now, credit to Drally, who kind of tried to clip a couple bumps there, almost got back, but it's tough position he put himself in. He does not get there.
Yeah, he was supersonic, but wasn't able to actually hit Ato's car at significant enough of an angle to get a demo. If